Today we're going to see how drawing your gun at the wrong time, even if it's a very fast draw, can definitely get you shot. In today's video, we're going to see a real life gunfight caught on camera where a guy defended his life, and even though he had a pretty fast draw, he still got shot because it may not have been the right time. If you don't know me yet, my name is Caleb Lee. I am the #1 best-selling author of Concealed Carry 101, and I'm also the founder of Patriot Training Center, where we teach live gun training courses for pistols, rifles, and shotguns to teach people just like you how to defend yourself and your loved ones. So let's get into today's clip. I'll go ahead and just play it here first, and there's no sound here, so we'll just watch it. This is a smoke shop in Compton. That turned into a gunfight. And here's a different angle after the shooting starts. All right, so every time we break down one of these videos on the channel, there in no way am I ever, talking bad about the person that took action here and was defending themselves. It's just what can we learn from these types of situations? So according to the news story, we have 4 people that came in. So 2 of these people they were still looking for after this robbery, and then 2 of them were taken to the hospital for gunshot wounds. And unfortunately, the defender here, the good guy who was I guess an employee of the shop or maybe the security guard, he got shot in the face and neck, and so we're going to look at why that happened. So everything here is just to kind of learn what we can from these real life incidents, and again, not talking trash about the person that defended themselves. Obviously, and anybody can armchair quarterback all day long, but it's what can we learn from these real life situations that we see. So the 2 guys come in, maybe they're talking and distracting. We don't really have the audio here. The 3rd guy doing the same. And the 4th guy is the guy with the gun as he's taking it out here. He's kind of hidden by the guy in front, and then he comes around him. The first thing this guy sees is a gun in his face. So a couple things that I did notice here is as soon as he sees this gun, you see our good guy with the gun puts his hand on the gun. So he was taking, maybe he wasn't fully committed to it and he didn't know whether he was going to draw yet. That possibly could have been the best time if he was going to draw that gun with the gun pointed at him, because we broke down a few defensive gunfights caught on video here, and a fast draw was the difference between what made those people successful and not. But the point of this video is to look at, even if you have a very fast draw, when a gun is pointed straight at your face and the guy is right in front of you and he's ready to shoot, this gun is already up here, almost in his eye line. He's at about position 3 of the draw stroke, and this guy's able to crack off the first round. There's just action is always faster than reaction. This guy has to react, but because he's already in the process of having the gun aimed in, he's going to get some shots in, most likely. And we see that's what happened here. As he fires that first round, another round, and he kind of goes down. We see the same thing here. It happens very quickly from the different angle. Luckily, the bad guys broke contact. The one guy shot some poorly aimed shots as he ran away, and they're still trying to have a little gunfight as they're trying to scramble out. So I guess the door was kind of locked. Maybe it's got one of those locks where you have to push a button or something to open it. But at the very end of the clip, they did unlock the door and they got out, and the suspects ran away. And then the cops rolled the guys up later because they checked themselves in for gunshot wounds. So really, like I said, we've looked at a few different defensive shootouts where having a fast draw was really important. It made all the difference in the world. However, there are situations where you are at a distinct disadvantage if the gun is pointing at you, if the guy has it right in your face, and he's got his finger on the trigger, which all those things appear to be happening right now. That is going to be a very low likelihood of of you being fast enough to get a shot off before he can just press the trigger. Because even though reaction is slower than action, and he has to react to you going to draw from the gun, I have a pretty quick draw. I can get a sub-second draw from concealment to first shot, depending on the distance. Definitely at this distance, I could do that. However, it takes like less than a quarter of a second probably for reaction time, maybe half a second for this guy to just finish pressing the trigger if he's already got the gun up in front of his face and he's pointing it at you. So this would kind of be a poor time. And this particular situation here, as soon as the guy comes around his buddy here and the gun, as he's still moving forward because his feet aren't planted yet, and maybe there's a he's just not fully in the best spot where he's aimed in and ready to take the shot. When this defender here put his hand on the gun the first time, that probably would have been the time. If you're going to drag race to the gun, that would have been the best time to do it. Or the other thing that we don't know here is what kind of verbal stuff was going on right here. if it felt like he was about to get disarmed, there's obviously four people here, so the guy's telling him to like take the gun out, put it on the table or whatever, maybe he wouldn't have gotten a chance to go for the gun, and he felt like it was the best time to go for the gun. So I'm not talking trash about him or his decision or what he made, but it's just like, what can we learn from that situation? So a fast draw is incredibly important if you're going to do it. The best time is like as that person is moving towards you and you see the gun for the very first time. That would be when you actually want to draw the gun and start going for that first shot. If you wait to the point where they're standing still and they're pointing the gun at you and they have the finger on the trigger, that is going to be poof, that's a bad situation. You're probably going to get shot. And the defender in this he made it, he survived and everything, but he had shots to the face and the neck, according to the news story. And I don't know how extensive that was, but even by the time the news story got posted, he was released from the hospital. So, as we see all the time when pistols are involved, lots of times the pistol shots are not fatal. They don't just stop people with one shot like we see in the movies, which is both good and bad. When you're trying to stop the bad guy from doing what he's doing, you have to be very careful and make sure you're hitting anatomically valuable spots on the body to make sure that you stop them as quickly as possible. But it's also good for us as defenders because if you're going to get shot, it's not necessarily a death sentence. Keep fighting. So this guy, even after the first shots went off and he hit the ground, he was getting back on his feet, and this guy took a shot at him as he was running away. But as we see from this other angle, they're down here at the other side of the store, and they're trying to shoot back at him. And there's obviously a continued gunfight going on right here. You can even see him uh, up here, and you see some shots going off as he's moving back and forth, trying to get a angle on these guys that are hiding behind the stuff in the store. So he continued fighting. So that's awesome. Great job by this guy here. Just something to think about. There is a correct time to draw, so kind of war game these scenarios out in your mind and have these moments when you should do it. If the guy's pointing a gun straight at you and he's looking at you and he's got his finger on the trigger, that's probably the worst time for you to go drag racing to your gun because you're probably going to lose that speed battle. However, if he takes his eyes off you, maybe to talk to the partner or to look around for witnesses, as we often see, not obviously in this situation, they were the only four guys in the store, so they knew what was going on. But if he's distracted in any way, that would be a better time to do it. Asking a question, verbally, if there's some way that you can use some verbal judo to distract them in that moment, that would be better than trying to purely drag race with a gun. Or as soon as you see that gun presented up, people just don't pull guns out because they want to be nice and talk to you. That if you're that would be, you have to have these certain decision points already pre-made in your mind, like this is when I'm going to take action. So we saw again this defender, he kind of put his hand on his gun like he was considering drawing, and then he thought better of it, and then he decided, yeah, I'm going to go for it. So I don't know if that's something verbally that the bad guy said, but when he initially came up, his hand initially went to his gun, and then he kind of hesitated a second. It may have been better to go for it right with that initial time that he put his hand on the gun. So tough situation, 4-on-1. This guy survived, and the other guys ran away, and he stopped it from becoming a murder. So I think he did a pretty good job. You can let me know what you think in the comments. Again, we post these videos to see what we can learn from actual gunfights that are caught on video and what we can learn from these real life situations that actually occurred and what's really important. That's all we do at Patriot Training Center is teach you how to defend yourself, or whether that's home defense or concealed carry. Come out, visit us at patriottrainingcenter.com. And one of the best ways to benchmark your skills to see if you even have the skills to be able to use your gun like a handgun in a situation like this to test your concealed carry skills is our 3-second minimum drill standard, which we have down in the description below. It's totally free, but that gives you a very viable minimum level of skill that we believe everybody can train to achieve. And it's a very objective standard that we think that you should be able to pass if you're going to carry a gun for self-defense. So check that out in the description below. It's completely free. And let me know in your comments what you think of today's video. And I will see you in the next one.